Hello guys, this is Avcoor and I want to do a character overview. This is of an older hero, but I think it's worth it that we go over these older heroes because some of us do not have the money to purchase the newer heroes. And I want to talk about someone special because I played him enough and I have to speak on him. If you're on a budget and if you want to climb very high in the rankings of Pinnacle Tournament or wherever you're going, I have to suggest Dragon Master Don. I actually have a 12-star Dragon Master Don, and I kind of wished I got him sooner. One thing I will say is that you should play this game for the fun of it. That's always should be the aim. If you're not having fun with this game, you shouldn't play it. I felt for me personally that I liked Shield Apart the more, and I still do from an aesthetic view. But I must admit, once I got Dragon Master Don on my team, I started to frequently get into the top 10 on my server as far as PvP goes. Not to mention getting in the top 200 on Pinnacle server, and that's with like Mega Whales. So that's from personal experience, my own personal experience. I'm talking about me playing the game as opposed to me giving you a guide. This is based on experience. And I can attest that Dragon Master Don is the best tank in the game, hands down. I know there's tanks like um, Lunar Shadow, but for all aspects of gameplay, whether it be in the tower, whether it be on certain PvE content like um, let me go real quick because I just totally brain farted and forgot it. Yeah, whether it be Endless Abyss, whether it be in Port of Adventure, especially in Ancient Sanctuary and Lost Empire, I really have to suggest Dragon Master Don over all of those characters that would be your tank. And there's a couple of reasons for this. Because when you look at his stat line, he is not the fastest, and his attack is not the highest, but his defense and his HP, I mean, his HP pool is massive. When you look at 2.2 million, and we'll compare him to a Chaos Hero, there's kind of no comparison. I will say that Fear of Destruction's defense is higher at 9,100. And when you look at Dragon Master Don's 7,970, it doesn't seem like much, but he is built to be a tank, and so he has skills and abilities that allow him to increase his defensive stats really high. And because of his HP pool being so large, it allows him to absorb a lot of hits that you wouldn't think he'd be able to absorb. And because of his skill set, you're asking him to absorb a lot of hits. So let's get started on his skills. But raw stats, they're kind of where you want them to be. Sometimes you would like him to be faster, depending on your setup. Sometimes it's better for him to go right before the healer with his rage skill. But that's your own discretion. That's really in more complicated team designs. And because of that, I will not suggest a certain time frame that you want him to actually be active in. For me, personally, I like him to go like one turn before my Lord of Time. And that's my personal preference. But anyways, let's get into the skills. Dragon Guard is one of the best defensive raid skills in the game to me. Because first of all, he applies applying Dragon Art Shield or whatever that can absorb up to 8% of the caster's max HP, which is amazing to two ally heroes with the lowest HP. This protects your squishies, and you have a 100% chance to increase their damage. So that's on your squishies, and it applies a counterattack to himself, so he doesn't need counterattack room, and that's plays up your talisman slot for something better. That's why when you actually do his talisman slots, counter attack should not be on there, and that's a good thing because that allows him to apply more defensive rules that increase his survivability. Really great stuff right in Dragon Guard. Pretty amazing. Conscious Mind is another good skill that I wish more tanks had. I wish more tanks had intervened. It would make Shield Partha so much better. It'd actually make her S plus tier, but she doesn't have it, so she's not S plus tier. So when a hero is attacked, Don will intervene, sharing 50% of the damage received. At the same time, Don's basic attacks have 100% a chance to apply bleed. That's all in 2 skills so far. So he gets to buff and apply debuffs. And his bleed actually gets better with his last skill. This is why Don is good in AoE teams because everybody hits him and he hits everybody. Therein, he actually has his own mini AoE based on counterattack. He will actually hit every person on the team. Everybody who's played Don sees this happening. This is why he has such a high synergy with AoE teams because he's actually assisting in dealing damage as well as protecting them. That's why he's gonna be like a mainstay until they like make a better tank than him. And so far, I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen a tank that does the same job that he's doing, or what you're asking him to do, especially not having intervene and bleed, and buffs, and shield mitigation, and shield application. I haven't seen it yet. And he has the typical 80% 40 attack self buff that every tank should have. Um, this actually is more important to him than other people, and we'll go into that why later. Don gains 10% damage reduction, and Blue will also apply deep wound. This effect cannot be dispelled. That's amazing. So reduce the enemy's healing received by 50%, which is really important, and increases the damage taken from bleeds by 50% last 2 rounds. Uh, Don's like one of the best tanks because of this. He applies his own set of debuffs. That's why in turn order, you want Valkyrie to go ahead of him since he's guaranteed to apply a debuff which will stop her from stunning the opponent. You actually want Celestial Spear. You also want Elementalist and Anubis to go ahead of him. That's my personal opinion. Because you want them to apply their stats effects first and then he layers his on and it really cripples the team. That's why I think Master Dragon Don's awakenings are so important. Because they all are really powerful. Really powerful. It's kind of stupid what he gets. Um, Potential level 10, Dragon Guard enhanced effect. Dragon Arts increases damage applies to and increased damage applies to 3 targets. This is super good because usually it's 2 targets, then it's 3 targets. Then that's like not only is that like a healer or something, that's like a DPS, like 2 DPS and a healer, and that's pretty good. That's kind of like you want him to go last, so on the next turn after they've done their rage skills, their single target attacks actually do increased damage. And another thought is you may want him to go first so they can get the damage increased on their rage skills. It depends on what you're looking for. Potential level 20, enhanced effect when intervening for allies. Don gains 20% damage reduction. Super great stuff. This is why I actually want to awaken his notes to really maximize his overall potential. That's why I think his awakenings are more important than other people because he gets more out of it. And last but not least, um, potential 25, he gets 10% damage reduction. This is really high on the awakening list. I go to my own Dragon Master Don and show you.
Worldly things cannot
So that's really way up there, and you actually need 6 Dragon Master Dons in order to get this. So it's not something easy to come by, but it's kind of worth it. It's kind of worth you getting that because this makes him an awesome tank for the long haul of this game. My personal thoughts on Dragon Master Don as I close this out. I must say that sometimes people make a character so good that they last longer than people would think. I think Dragon Master Don is that type of character. I know that there are some OP busted dark units coming out, but they cost money. And Dragon Master Don is the strongest free to play option for a tank. And he has a lot of staying power. I know he works best in a 2 healer comp, or if you have a comp that has Puppet Master. He works well with Puppet Master. He works well with Lunar Shadow. He works well in a 2 tank comp as long as the tank is doing something besides defending, because that's his job. That's the role that he's given. Also, he works in AoE comps as well. He actually works in single target comps as well. He works pretty much on any team as long as he has healer support. He works just fine. The 2 healer comp benefits him more. Say for instance, his best 2 healers right now are Lord of Time and Super Twins, because Super Twins gives him a shield that layers on top of his shield, which increases his survivability. Um, Lord of Time is actually Wind, so she and him combine to get the buff that they need, and she also provides healing support and damage increase. Another person that he combos well with is actually her. Because of her skill that increases damage when a target is bleed, she's like the perfect ally for Dragon Master Don, as he sets her up easily in order to get kills. In fact, if you look at my team, I actually use that comp. I use Dragon Master Don, I use um, Endless Storm, and Lord of Time. And at some point, I'll talk about later in team building, you actually have to get to this point where you start lining up your elements in order to get larger bonuses in HP and attack, because they go a long way. Because on this game, you constantly have to stack stats. So Dragon Master Don does benefit from having win allies. And one of his best win allies is Endless Storm and Lord of Time. So if you want that three that 3-2 light or dark wind combination, this is kind of the way to go. Another one I would suggest and win that is really good with him is actually Tempest Dragon, because Tempest Dragon actually hits the mid and back row consistently all the time. Therein, he actually applies reduced damage and bleed effect. That helps Dragon Master Don a lot. And the fact that he attacks the mid and back rows allows him to whittle away the team consistently. And he applies Armor Shredder that helps Dragon Master Don deal more damage on his counterattacks. So he's actually a good win ally. And you have to keep that in mind with Dragon Master Don, which holds him back considerably, I think, in the long term, is that he is win, and that he only meshes so well with light and dark comps, which light and dark comps only want light and dark in order to get the massive stat bonus they get for their alignment. And that's just the way things are. Kind of sucks that it is that way. But let me go in the last part of this video and talk about some talismans that he should be using. As far as talisman goes, oh, this Gambit, whatever. So let's go to select. The thing you actually want on this guy is stuff that reduces his reduces damage received. Miss Tenacity is really good. Um, Miss Providence is good if you can get both of them on him. That'd be awesome. This is no good. This is no good. Miss Affinity. Miss Vigor is really good. Miss Vigor is super good. Miss CC Immune is really good. Miss Divine Spirit is actually good as well because sometimes you don't get to revive on him. Miss Rapid is good if you want him to have the extra speed in order to do what he needs to do. You don't need Miss Counterattack because he counterattacks on his own. Miss First Aid also can be good. Miss Bandage can also be good. Miss Earthen is often overlooked, but this actually can be good on Dragon Master Don, even though it reduces his speed. It increases his HP by 25%, and since he has a high HP pool, that actually really benefits him. Miss Reflect is also good. Miss Lively is good. I wouldn't say Miss Berserk is because Miss Berserk is kind of pointless because he does not kill with his rage skill. Miss Taunt can actually be good as well. Miss Purify can actually be good because there's a couple of things. This is how you want to build your Dragon Master Don. And right now, his best rune that I have for myself is Providence rune. But if you go to limited events and you go to limited time, go to Great Voyage. Where is that? Bilal's protection is actually solid. This is really good. I think. Yeah, I think this reduces dip receive. Yeah, that's pretty good. Um, let's see the next one. Uh, original prayer after taking fatal damage retains 1 HP and restores 10% of max HP. That's pretty good. Increases healing effects. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Let's see what they have over here. When entering battle, if affected by control, there's a 50% chance to be CC immune. That's pretty good. The Lies resistance is really good. At the end of one round, grants 3 ally heroes a shield, which absorbs HP at the max. It also applies. Oh, that's pretty good too. Sartan's Will is actually good. So there's a couple of good runes that you can put on Dragon Master Don. He's kind of versatile in how you want him to support the team because he has many options to do that. But for me, uh, this guy has helped me a lot, clear a lot of content. So I am going to dump a lot of resources into him. Even now, I'm working to get Dragon Guard. I just wished I would have done it sooner. I would have invested in him more. But anyways, guys, if you like my content, hit the like, share, subscribe button. I'll get back to you. Have a great one, and laters.